Hey, Spencer.
What's going on?
Two things. One,
Yep.
you're looking fresh with that haircut.
Yeah, got it this morning.
It looks great. And then secondly, you're crushing it with the Movember mustache. That should
Well,
have gone first for the
it
haircut.
what it wasn't 100% for Movember. It was I was actually Luigi for Halloween.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Um,
I was Luigi, my wife was Mario, my daughter was Princess Peach, and my son was Bowser.
it sounds like a lot of planning and prep went into that. Maybe.
We had watched Super Mario Brothers a lot prior to Halloween, and so we were very much in the Super Mario uh state of mind.
Well, I mean, the mustache, it's a lifestyle. I mean, my husband embraces it.
Well,
It's
I've been telling my team that I'm not really sure how much longer I'm going to be able to support it, being that I might wake up one morning and my wife will have shaved it off, but we shall see.
See, we got a couple people to come off camera on this one, you know. Hi, Eamon, Laura.
Hi.
Well, we are recording this call and it is 2 o'clock. So I wanted to get the ball rolling, but thank you for all of you taking time out of your day to prioritize meeting with the CrossFit affiliate programming team. If I haven't yet connected with you, my name's Danielle Williams. I'm the Northeast rep. I'm always here to support you all. So for today's call, we might not take the full hour, but we're going to have some time dedicated to some questions. But we're going to be diving into just a broad overview of the CAP programming for 2025. So if you have questions along the way, please put them in the chat and we'll do our best to kind of move through those as it comes up. And if they're not addressed, then we'll circle back and make sure it's addressed by the end of the call. So with that said, I wanted to introduce you both to Spencer Hendel, who is on my left, but he's in the corner with the mustache and the new haircut, looking sleek, and Sarah Estrell Hopkins, who's waving her hand too. So they're both part of the CAP team in a nutshell. Spencer, for those of you who haven't been on this call, actually, let me backtrack for a second. We've been running this call basically monthly, kind of moving more towards a topic-based approach. If you have any feedback or anything you want to hear about, we've had several calls where we've unpacked the CAP programming and dove into running a class and what makes a great class experience and so forth. So we thought this was fitting with the approach of the new year. Moving forward, we're probably going to be moving to a bi-monthly call once every 2 months, just for everyone's reference. But so if there's anything that you want to hear about, any questions you have, or in between you have questions, hit up any of your reps, or you could hit up the CAP team so that when you get off this call, you'll have their direct email as well. So Spencer, I'll let you take the baton, and Sarah, you want to
Love it. Yeah, let's also not forget Miss Laura Bruner, who's also a part of the CAP
Oh,
team.
Laura.
Hello. It's okay. Good to see
does,
everyone here.
does a lot of really cool stuff for us as well. So the three of us you have here from the CAP team. So we're going to take the time to go over monthly themes for 2025, as well as some new things that we're going to introduce for the year of 2025, which we're all very excited about and pretty excited to share with you guys. But we'll just go down the list. Of course, I'm hoping to get this out to you guys in terms of like an email or something that you guys can have to look at in front of you as we get closer to the turn of the new year. But this would be good just for conversation, and you guys let me know your thoughts and all that fun stuff. So how many of you guys are currently following CAP? Just as a, I don't know, general question. Cool. Love it. Yeah. So most of you guys with your hands up, some of you guys with your cameras off, obviously can't see you, but if you are following CAP, fantastic. If not, I always like to plug that, even if you're not following CAP for the workouts, obviously it is a lot more than just workouts. There's a lot of resources that you can use CAP for, other than just, following the workout of the day, whether it's, learning progressions, whether it's learning what to look for in terms of movements, different cues, different places to look, warm-ups, cool downs, even just writing class plans. A lot of cool resources that you guys can use CAT for other than just following the workouts. With that being said, January and February, just like this year, we're going to prepare for the Open. All right, so the Open usually hits around that time, and we're going to take the opportunity to prepare for it and get ready for it, and programming will focus around getting ready for the Open. With March, and if you guys don't mind, my other screen is over here to my left, so that's why you guys see me staring off to the left. But March, we're going to go with a gas pedal month. All right, so gas pedal, think of expecting more efforts to challenge us to keep the gas pedal down, power output high, short duration efforts, intensity high, things like that. That should be, coming off of the Open. That should be something that we're prepared for, something that we're, ready to hit right after the Open, because we know that most of the Open workouts tend to be higher intensity gas pedal duration efforts. Next, going to April, we're going to do endurance and stamina. So expect to see more workouts that challenge your ability to maintain sustainable efforts across longer duration efforts. So the previous month, kind of short, more punchy stuff. And then the following month in April, kind of a longer duration month. And then in May, we've got Murph Prep. This is no different from last year, or this 2024, the current year that we're in. We did Murph Prep as well. So expect to see more things leading up to the workout Murph, which is going to be preparing our affiliates and our members for pull-ups, for push-ups, for higher volume squats, running, things like that. June.
Can I interject for a second?
Go for
Going
it.
back to April with the endurance stamina month, was some of the consideration put into that just to lay the foundation for Murph Prep?
I'd like to say yes, for sure.
Okay, that's just good to for all of us, whether you're following CAP or not, with these themes to get some inspiration off of. I love it. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So Murph is May, and then going after May, we've got June, which is going to be heavy lifting month. So opportunity to get heavier relative to your capacity. And those heavy lifts coming in the form of traditional lifting, your back squats, deadlifts, shoulder presses, but we can also see some snatches and Olympic lifts in there as well. But we're going to try to stay more on the traditional side, being is that we have a month, August, dedicated to the Olympic lifts. But before we get to August, in July, we're going to focus on higher skill movements. So higher skill gymnastics and higher skill weightlifting. So higher skill gymnastics, think about handstand push-ups, muscle ups, handstand walking, getting upside down, things like that, ring dips, chest to bar pull-ups. And then we go into higher skill on the weightlifting side. We look at things like squat snatches. We look at things like split jerks, regular jerks, even more like combo movements like thrusters, things that tend to be a little bit more higher skill, higher demand than, maybe your traditional lifts. And then, like I said, August is going to be Olympic lifting. But yes, Olympic lifting in the terms of maybe finding a new 1 rep max snatch or a 1 rep max clean and jerk, but also in the sense of cycling barbells and being able to cycle a snatch, being able to cycle a clean, and what does it look like to do that for, multiple repetitions, 2, 3, 4, 10 repetitions. September classic benchmarks. So we did this one this year as well. So we have things like Fran and all of our girl workouts like Annie and Cindy and those types of things. So expect to see those in September. That being said, we will see other benchmarks throughout the year, along with our female workouts and hero workouts as well. But that month of September will see a little bit more than we have throughout the year. 10, which is a fun one that I'm really interested in. October, the month of mindset. So this is also going to be a month preparing us for the workout Chad 1000X that we will do in November, which will be coming up, which is a very big mindset. I don't think there's anything more bigger mindset than standing there doing 1,000 box step ups with a rucksack on your back. You're just kind of there with your thoughts, and you have to have a good mindset to be able to get through that workout. So I wrote down here that, these workouts sometimes aren't always the quote unquote flashiest of workouts, but they require you to, like I said, have a good mindset going into them in order to overcome the challenge. And then going into November, which we will see Chad 1000X on Veterans Day, is going to be a month of pressing. Think of pressing as a movement function, and in any way, shape, or form that you can think of pressing, whether that be you think immediately one that comes to my mind, because it's just a workout that's been painfully imprinted on my mind, is a workout here, workout JT, which is going to be handstand push-ups, ring dips, and push-ups. So pushing in the vertical plane over the head, also vertical plane below the shoulder with the ring dip, and then pushing in the sagittal plane with the push-up. So a lot of different variations of pressing. Doesn't have to be just limited to gymnastics movements. We can also press with weightlifting movements, and so things like that. And then December, we're going to flip the script, and we're going to do a month of pulling. So we just did a month of pressing. We're going to flip it. We're going to do a month of pulling, and same thing, once again, movement functions, pulling in the form of gymnastics and also pulling in the form of weightlifting. So you'll see all that. Now, I tell you guys all of those themes because we're also going to introduce a total of, what do we have here? Yeah, 18 total benchmarks, benchmark workouts that we're going to incorporate throughout the course of the year. And these benchmarks will be implemented throughout the 2025 year, but also then brought back for the year of 2026. And these are benchmarks that we as a CAP team believe give a very good picture of an individual's fitness. And if we can, get numbers for these efforts across the year, and then continue to see across year to year to year, we can, essentially look at someone's fitness across the year, across multiple years, and in essence get health in there as well, the definition of health. So these benchmarks are going to be things like a 1 rep max snatch, 1 rep max deadlift, a 1 minute max calorie bike, a 3 rep max front squat, Fran, Diane, Grace, Nancy, Annie, a 2K row, Cindy, Fight Gone Bad, one of the open workouts, the open workout 18.1, Kelly, Linda, Andy, and then Murph, and then Chad. Now, other than Murph and Chad, all the other benchmarks that I had mentioned, and once again, we're going to get this to you guys in writing, but all the other benchmarks I had mentioned, we're going to do all 16 of those in the first 6 months, and then we will retest them on the back half of the year as well. So we'll get those in twice. Other than Murph and Chad are kind of once a year type benchmarks, but most of us have done Murph and Chad more than once, so we should have some prerequisites to go along with those. And so those are the quote unquote tests that we're going to call those benchmarks for CAP. Any questions thus far on either the themes or the quote unquote tests before I go into lifting cycles?
This would be
All
great
right.
to have ahead of time, like you said, you were getting it out, because I'm just thinking those goal boards, reset going into 2025, having those benchmarks laid out, sharing with our members, this is what you can expect, and getting everyone jazzed. I love it.
For sure. Yeah, we're definitely going to come out with something that's going to give you guys that ability to, post that in front of your members so that they can see the themes that are coming up for the year, for the month. As well as, we've already planned out when those particular benchmarks are going to fall into which month, and, why they're going to fall into that month, and, when they're going to be repeated. So you guys can already have that stuff already planned out. Obviously, it can be hard to follow me just talking on this phone call, but I promise you we'll have that out. Like I said, any other questions before we go into lifting cycles? Roger that. All right, so lifting cycles. We are going to switch it up a little bit this year. in previous calls, obviously you guys have been very, very vocal in terms of, wanting cycles, wanting periodization, at least for some of the strength elements. So as you guys know, in the past, we've had strength 1 and we've had strength 2 and we've had strength 3. Strength 1 and 2 have previously followed a cycle or periodization of some sort, while strength 3 has always followed kind of a catch-all, if you will, for for the week in terms of catching what's missing, I guess, so to speak. So that's going to stay the same. Strength 1 is going to be our clean and jerk and our snatch, and it's going to follow a 6-week cycle. And let's just say we start with the clean and jerk. We're going to do clean and jerk for 6 weeks. On the 5th week is going to be a deload week, and then the 6th week is going to be a clean and jerk test. Okay. Following that 6th week, we will go into snatch for 6 weeks. Same thing. All the way through. Week 5 will be a deload week, and then week 6 will be a test for the snatch. That in total will be 12 weeks. Week 13 will be a anything goes week, just kind of like a reset week, and then we'll rinse, wash, and repeat. So every 13th week, so week 13, week 26, week 39, and week 52 will all be anything goes weeks, reset weeks, if you will. And then everything in between there will alternate clean and jerk, snatch, clean and jerk, snatch. So essentially, we will get 4 opportunities to test a 1 rep max snatch and a 1 rep max clean and jerk, or some sort of max variation of a snatch or clean and jerk throughout the year, which would be pretty cool. In that same vein, strength number 2 will also follow 6-week segments or 6-week cycles. But we're going to switch up the movements a little bit and sticking to 4 main movements. Those 4 main movements are going to be deadlift, back squat, strict press, and front squat. Okay, and we will alternate between those 2 things. So instead of 4 times throughout the year, we'll rinse, wash, and repeat those things only twice because there are 4 movements. But same thing, every 13th week will be a anything goes week, reset week, while the stuff in between will switch. So 6 weeks of deadlift, 6 weeks of back squat, 6 weeks of strict press, and 6 weeks of front squat. And then that'll get us through 6 months, and we'll do those 6 months over again. Within those cycles, we're going to be doing a variety of different cycles and different periodization programs. So I don't want to speak too soon before we have all of that stuff laid out throughout the year, but just know that those are the movements that you guys are going to do. Those are roughly the 6-week cycles that you guys are going to follow. And yeah, I'm excited about that. It's going to be fun. It's going to be something different than last year. And hopefully you guys end up giving it the thumbs up. Now, other than that, we've gone through monthly themes. We've gone through the tests. We've gone through lifting cycles. Anything I'm forgetting, Sarah?
No, I think that's it. We'd also love to hear your feedback. So this is obviously what we're planning. We're certainly intending to do what Spencer has just laid out. But that said, if you have strong feelings about any of this, you have questions, you would like to understand more about why we've chosen these themes or what we plan to do, more than happy to field your feedback here on this call, or if you'd like to reach out to us at programming@crossfit.com. I put that into the top of the chat. Love to hear your feedback, and it's not too late for us to adjust something. If you're like, hey, I actually really think August should be something else, really feel strongly, and you can convince us, we're still open to your feedback. So please do feel free to reach out if you have strong feelings.
Sarah, I had a comment from Barrett about, well, to start off, the marketing materials of annual overview of monthly focus. And I have Jen Green was actually going to share something in the comments. She creates her own like marketing assets for Instagram, just highlighting the themes for the month and all, but I could see how that would be really useful for folks. Is there any thought about that you guys are working with the marketing team on any assets, or is there potential?
Yeah, we certainly could. We definitely plan to send it out to you in email. And then also we're working on updates to the technology in the affiliate toolkit to be able to have this stuff readily available at your fingertips and for your coaches in real time. So if you missed the January email and you need to know what the themes are in June, right now you need to go find that January email. Our goal is to get it to you so that if you want to know what the themes are for June, you can just find it in June in the toolkit. So our hope is that that'll materialize over the course of this year as well. But yeah, I think being able to get you some graphics for marketing materials, that should be something we can do. Likely probably emailed rather than living in the toolkit or the marketing toolkit. But if anyone is not subscribed to our weekly email, let us know. But we should be able to get that to you. Does that solve? Does anyone have concerns or need something different than that? All right, Barrett, I can follow up with you to try to get you connected to that weekly email.
I also had a question from Barrett. Why are CAP and main site workouts different?
Handful of reasons. Spencer, do you want to handle that or do you want me to take that one?
You can handle it.
Okay, I think the primary reason is that main site programs rest days and affiliates aren't closed typically. So about 30% of our CAP affiliates are open on Sundays for regular classes. And so they need that 7th day of programming and we want to accommodate them. Most affiliates, if not all affiliates, are open on Thursdays, which is a rest day for main site. And so what we found when we tried to merge the two is that we were having a more difficult time writing appropriately varied programming for each channel because we were missing movements if we just like skipped 2 days, or we were kind of putting in filler workouts if we had a complete week and then we're trying to add 2 more. So our conclusion after trying both methods was that we're actually better off programming main site, with the focus for main site being more individual focused, and then the focus for CAP being truly affiliate focused, taking into account the different sizes of affiliates, the different equipment needs, and being open 7 days a week. So same programming principles, just some slightly different logistics, I would say.
And just scrolling down the comments, Jody had a comment. So, I think Spencer was, are we doing 2 strength cycles? Are we expecting 2 strength only days, or will there be 2-part days? And so
So I was just replying to that, and this is with regard to the work your weakness sections. So we had this year have implemented the work your weakness sections and started with the strength 1, strength 2, strength 3, skill 1, and stamina 1. They'll all stay the same. We'll still have 5 work your weakness sessions available, but that just means for the affiliate programming that'll be stuff for your athletes who are hungry for more stuff, hungry for more volume, that they are able to do that stuff outside of class. And then for the compete track, those 5 sessions will be programmed into the compete track. So if you are looking for specific days to potentially program that for your affiliate, I encourage you to check out the compete track where they will be programmed on the most appropriate days.
And for those of you who weren't on this call and just not regularly on it, I know we unpack work your weaknesses where you all, the CAP team, wanted to keep it open for how you wanted to implement work your weaknesses in your affiliates. So there's not one set way, since we all operate a little differently. But really quick question, who here on this call with your videos up was aware of work your weaknesses and the fact that they were they had strength cycles? Okay, so a few of you. Okay, great. Who here kind of massages the program a bit and might integrate that a bit into your daily classes? Some? Okay. Well, glad you're finding that useful. Is there any more questions about the cycles related to work your weaknesses? Okay. Moving on. There was a question about how you would recommend us incorporating work your weaknesses into programming. I kind of put that out there. Spencer or Sarah, can you speak to that at all?
Yeah, I think there's a handful of ways. And also I see a question, will the strength cycles be included in the affiliate lesson plans? And just making sure we address that one directly as well. There's a variety of needs in the community. And so the idea is we're trying to provide a bunch of options that will help you to mix and match for what meets the needs of your affiliate. So our base affiliate program, the daily workouts, provide GPP, variety, includes some heavy lifting, some light lifting, everything in between. And the idea is that if you just follow the daily programming, you and your athletes should get fitter, stronger, fitter, better at CrossFit. In addition, if you have athletes who have a weakness in strength, and so they'd like to get stronger, they'd like to get better specifically at snatching and clean and jerking or the slow lifts, the idea is that, but it's a them thing, it's not a your gym thing. So they specifically have a weakness that they would like to get better at, and you have open gym time. It's ideally something that you can hand to them and say, hey, I know you want to get better at snatching. For the next 6 weeks, you can follow this program in open gym or in some other period of time that fits your affiliate. And then they can try to target that weakness specifically in addition to their GPP programming. Another thing that could happen is you as a gym decide that you all would like to get better at snatching. And so one of the things you could do is to look through the week and find a period of a workout that's like, we could do a little more on that day, or maybe we want to do snatching this day instead of what's programmed, or maybe it's a back squat day and we'd rather snatch because our gym during this period of time wants to get better at snatching. You can mix and match this work your weakness component with your daily class plan. And so then you can kind of build a day that incorporates snatching where your gym can target that weakness as a whole. And then one other thing that we would recommend is if you want to do more volume in your classes. So we generally try to target with like the 90th percentile in CrossFit, across all of CrossFit, being like our program for the best. And the reason for that is 80% of our affiliates have one or fewer, if I remember my statistics correctly, 80% have one or fewer of quarterfinals qualifiers back when it was the top 10%. So the majority of our gyms don't have a lot of quarterfinals qualifiers. So we're trying to program that with that being the best. That said, 20% of our gyms have all of our quarterfinals qualifiers, basically, right? And so the idea is that some of our gyms may actually need more volume to meet the needs of their population. And so there you can mix and match what you find in the Compete program. So my recommendation would be to take a look at the Compete program and potentially choose 2 of the components from the Compete program that fits your day. And then, of course, you'll need to adjust the session plan. But that Compete program does also still have a general warm-up, still gives you opportunity to teach. It does have breaks in between the different components that you could build in progressions if you need to for your classes. And so for our more advanced gyms, that's the way we see some of our affiliates using that Compete program. And the Compete program, getting back to work your weakness, incorporates all 5 of the work your weakness elements throughout the week. So it can show you which days we think they fit best alongside the affiliate class programming. Does that answer everyone's question? And do you have anything to add, Spencer?
No, Tamara had a question like about incorporating in the class plan. So Tamara, does that answer your question? Okay, I thought I saw hands up.
And then we
There was
also heard some affiliates do use that programming for specific weightlifting classes still. Those of you who have been around with CAP for a long time know that we used to have a lifting specific track. So the gyms that do want to have a lifting specific class also sometimes use that work your weakness to build out a weightlifting specific class. So that would be also something that you could do.
There was a couple questions about the 55 plus masters track that I think we answered in the chat, but I just didn't want to get lost in the chat. And so one of the questions was, is there a 55 plus masters option? Can you just speak to that?
Yes, we are providing a 55 plus masters option every day. You can find that for sure in your affiliate toolkit. So you log into the affiliate toolkit and look at the workout of the day. It is absolutely there in the logistics section. I realize if you're using Push Press Train, that would not be a very convenient place to go look for it. Ideally, it should be in your coach's notes, again, in the logistics section. And potentially also, depending on the platform, it should be available within the athlete facing pieces as well, where they can click and log their score according to that Masters 55 plus scaling option.
Yeah, I think that it just dropped off like this week or last week from Push Press. It used to be on the actual workout and now it's not, and just in the coach's notes.
Huh, interesting. We'll have to check with Push Press what happened with that. That wasn't intentional on our side, so we'll follow up. Thanks for letting us know. How has that 55 plus scaling option been working for you? our general principles are that we lower the weight a bit and we sometimes adjust the jumping volume as the two primary things that we're doing. And then sometimes the gymnastics skills, either reducing the volume or the complexity, depending on the workout.
I have a few that use it. Lots of times they kind of go back and forth between the 55 plus or the intermediate. The intermediate might be more of their challenge to do. Sometimes it seems a little too easy for my group of 55 plus, but mine are like 55 to 60. So
Cool.
Now, there was a question that went back to the themes. Further up, how does the theme of the month impact the constantly varied piece of CrossFit? For example, how is a week varied to incorporate all 10 pieces of CrossFit during a theme month where the focus is heavy towards one? Or why is there only one strength theme for the year? And
I'm
this
not
is,
seeing the question. Do you mind repeating it, Danielle? Sorry.
I'm sorry, it's Emily Breed.
Okay, yep, found it.
Yep.
So it's still constantly varied, but there's just like a slightly higher emphasis on that particular thing. So when we're trying to have a focus on benchmarks, for example, we just completed or I think I get confused about which month we're actually living in versus the months that I'm reviewing. So we're in the midst of a benchmark month. Is that correct? Yeah. So did we just finish it? Okay. So you've seen that there have been benchmarks more often. We don't typically program a classic benchmark once a week, but that said, just because it's a classic benchmark doesn't mean it's a typical CrossFit workout. It's just one your members might recognize more. So it's a slight emphasis towards that thing without removing variance. So as we say, like we're going to work on workouts that focus on preparing for the open, you might see an open test more often or something that's like open style workout, but we'll still provide a varied week to go alongside that workout. So your members will notice a bit of a trend where we're putting things in combinations or rep schemes that are consistent with that theme, but then we're still balancing out the variance with other workouts that we're building in around those workouts. Does that make sense? And Spencer, do you have anything to add?
No, I just we're thinking of the year as a whole, not as a day-to-day or a week-to-week or even month-to-month basis. And so over the course of the year, it's going to be, very balanced, very, like Sarah said, constantly varied function movements executed at high intensity. So well varied across the year, not just month to month or day to day.
And there's something to be said for neurological adaptation of more frequent practice. So there are times when we're trying to give you you and your members more frequent exposure to a particular movement. So you're getting more frequent opportunities to practice and develop those neurological adaptations. There are other times when the physiological adaptation, where you need to just like train the specific movement or the movement pattern more, will develop your capacity. So the idea is kind of giving your members opportunities to specifically focus on moving themselves forward in one particular area. And then the next month, moving themselves forward in a different area, which kind of creates some novelty, is what we found. So giving yourself an opportunity to focus on generally getting fitter with a slight focus on some aspect of your training. Even variance can sometimes get monotonous for members. And so the idea is we're just trying to create a little bit of fun and something new to focus on, just a little bit of extra emphasis on a particular area in any given month. With, as Spencer said, the goal being to be fitter at the end of the year and to be continually progressing throughout the year. Dave, yes, I can copy them over for you. Dave is asking for the monthly themes.
I had a question also related to the open prep. And I think you kind of answered that, but just in general, what are a couple things that you gravitate towards for open prep? Would you mind hashing that out?
Yeah, I think I can handle this one. So over the course of I should say the history of the Open, there are a few movements that are, I don't want to say 100% going to show up, but you can, if you go to Vegas, you could probably put your chips on this movement and it's probably going to show up. But things, you know, like thrusters, things like toes to bar, things like double unders, things like muscle ups, you know, these are movements that are bound to show up, you know, 9 times out of 10, so to speak. So, you know, we're going to incorporate some of those movements, like Sarah said, not, you know, all the time, every single day, but those movements are going to show up in the open prep months more often than not, in an attempt to give our athletes, give our clients a better opportunity to see those movements, improve upon those movements, work on those movements, so that when they do show up in the open, they're more prepared for them.
I think one thing we've learned too, just to build on that, is that there's fun in open retests, but excessive open retests start to get overwhelming for members. And so we do some open retests, but we try not to overdo it. Both so that if your members have recently done an open workout that turns out to be a repeat in the open, ideally just setting them up that they'll be very self-aware and able to attack the workouts with their best effort, but not so much so that they're like holding back, or that they already just gave this workout their all and now they're going to do it again. So trying to balance that. Because, and similar with our Murph prep month, we try not to do like Cindy over and over again. We try to mix workouts so that your members are getting volume tolerance for each of the movements, but not necessarily always in the same combination. Again, so that they're not getting to Murph and just being like, I'm so tired of doing Cindy. We want it to still feel like they're prepared for Murph, but also excited to tackle Murph.
Are there any other questions top of mind? I think we've made our way through.
I would say we have more than one strength theme for the year. Emily, do you mind clarifying what your question is, just so I make sure I answer it correctly? Typing is fine.
Okay.
Okay, her question. Okay, cool. So yeah, so I would say March will very likely feel like a heavy workout in some ways. Higher power, shorter duration efforts, those will likely be heavier, faster workouts and will be building strength. June and August are both lifting months, and then pressing and pulling will also kind of be lifting months. They'll just be focused on a movement modality. But you still should be building strength in pressing and pulling in those months. Potential kids program. Yes, still working on it. Hopefully early next year. We don't know for sure yet. That's, again, some of the functionality they're working on within the affiliate toolkit is blocking us from being able to share that. But I believe I actually have a meeting with our product manager later today. I believe that will be unblocked soon, and we're really looking forward to being able to share that with you.
That's exciting. Who here on this call has a kids program currently? A few of you. Okay.
What age are the kids, out of curiosity? Are they 12 and under? 12 and older? Sweet. Okay. We're planning to have 2 different tracks, one for little kids, one for bigger kids. And so that will hopefully be a good resource for you. And that said, it'll be new for us. So as you're working with it, it's designed by the program manager for the kids program and the key trainers for the kids program. So I think it'll be a great resource. And that said, as you're working to implement it in your affiliate, if there's something different that you need or something additional that you need, please continue to give us feedback in ways that we can make it the best resource it can be for you.
Sarah, there was a question on the functionality of the toolkit and just the search function.
I hope so. I don't know that there are any plans right now to improve it, but I would say that we would like to improve it if we can. We just have some technical limitations in the way that the toolkit was originally implemented, and CrossFit site as the whole, as you know, doesn't have particularly good search functionality. So it's something that our dev team is working on fixing, but no ETA for when that would happen yet.
Barrett had chimed in on possible to see more marketing materials. I know we had chatted briefly about that on the beginning of this call, but Barrett, just to clarify too, that's something that the team is also chatting with the marketing team on, so stand by for that. As a rep too, I will be chit-chatting to both Jen Green and other reps about that as well, so would seem to make our lives a lot easier.
Thanks, Danielle.
Jody, is any, oh, sorry.
Sorry, yes, I see Jody's question. Any plans to release the workouts 2 weeks at a time? I think we can probably do that soon. 2 ways that you can do that. Right now, we're releasing them 10 days early. So that used to be 7, I think it used to maybe be 4 days. Spencer, you can correct me. We moved to 7, now we've moved consistently to 10. So we release the new workouts on Friday within the web app for the following Monday. So not 3 days Monday, the 10 days following Monday for that whole week. I think we will get to a point that we can launch them 2 weeks early. So the Monday, 2 weeks prior to the Monday that the workouts are on. The other thing you can do now, if you will forgive our typos, is if you directly type in the date for the workout, we are typically another week or 2 ahead from that. There just might still be typos. So you can still see it. It's just not completely a finished product yet. The web app. So if you go to CrossFit.com/programming, and then you click affiliate login, you'll be able to see CAP. You have to be logged into your affiliate ID or your CrossFit ID. Yes, on the CrossFit.com website. And then also if you're logged in and you click on your picture in the upper right-hand corner, you should see under your affiliate toolkit. And that will also take you to the toolkit. And then from there, you can click into the workout of the day.
And it ends up being the same part, or the same place, right? Barrett was saying, asking if this is different from the affiliate portal. They get you to the same place, correct?
No, same thing, yep. The only thing is if you click into view today's workout, if you look at the URL for the day's workout, you'll see a date 2024-11/07 or whatever the date is. And that's where if you directly type in that you want to see the workout for the 24th of November, let me see, I think that's live now. So you can click into future weeks that aren't published yet by just clicking in the direct date. And we're working to get our process such that we can get those copy edited sooner and actually published sooner. We're just not quite there yet. Emily, I don't know that we know when we're writing a workout, we don't necessarily know that we're planning to retest it in the future. So if it is a named workout, we know that we are planning to retest it in the future. But it's hard to know the future, if that makes sense. So knowing which workouts to name would be tricky. So what you theoretically can do, and part of why we use the date rather than a name, is that if you have an athlete who has done a workout before or thinks they may have done a workout before, they can go back to the date. We typically do share the date that we previously programmed a workout. And so theoretically, they could go back and see what that date was and what their score was then. If it was a name, it would be harder to find. Yeah, Dave, that's something we've received that feedback, and that's what Spencer was talking about. So Spencer created the benchmarks that he shared in response to that feedback. So you'll know that at least those 16, 18 really benchmarks that Spencer mentioned, you'll know which months we plan to program those at the beginning of the year. Hype is always great. But then they also get to spend however many months dreading Fran if they're like me.
Now, is there any, obviously questions, but any feedback or anything you'd like to see if you haven't been on a call and voiced your opinions and feedback that you want to put out there to the group or in the chat? Wow, okay. I mean,
Also,
that's,
be on the lookout. We plan to send a survey. So during the month of December, watch your weekly emails. We plan to send a survey to get your feedback. The feedback that we received in last year's survey, for those of you that were following CAP and got that survey back then, helped to drive the introduction of some of our new options this year, including the 55+ scaling option, kept us programming workouts on Sundays because we knew that a lot of gyms were open and holding regular group classes on Sundays. We made the decision to program GHDs and workouts a lot less often because almost none of our gyms had enough GHDs to program GHDs within a workout. So getting that type of feedback really helps us to develop a program that actually meets your needs. So please do be on the lookout for that survey in the month of December. Fill it out, let us know your feedback, good, bad, indifferent. We'll use that to then continue to evolve CAP and hopefully improve it for all of you going forward. Really appreciate all the feedback that you give us.
and Sarah had included at the top, you could always reach out to the team at programming@crossfit.com. Or if you don't feel comfortable giving them direct feedback, reach out to your reps and we'll push it up the chain to them as well. You guys are very approachable. I mean, now that we all have a name with a face here.
Thank you. It goes to our customer support rep too. So they will elevate it to us, and we typically won't know your names unless you want to be put in touch with us. So we see all the messages, but it isn't necessarily attributed to an individual until the point that it makes sense for us to know who submitted the feedback. So do feel free to say whatever you need to in the programming@crossfit.com channel, and we will do our very best to meet your needs. You guys are great too. Thank you so much for your support, all of your feedback, for all the work that you do in the CrossFit community. I'm an affiliate for 8 years and just really appreciate the significance of the work that you're doing and grateful to be a part of your journey.
There was a couple, who will the survey get sent out to? I'm assuming owners.
It'll get
But-
sent out to our subscriber list. So the people who get the CrossFit affiliate programming weekly email. So you can, if you don't get it, you can subscribe to it with crossfit.com/newsletters. And so it's the CrossFit affiliate program newsletter that you'll see there. I believe you need to be logged in order to subscribe to it. Everyone who's subscribed to that email will get the survey link. And we plan to send it out all the first 3 weeks in December as part of that weekly email.
And Jody had one more question, maybe resources for ways when to modify workouts for gyms that have equipment like GHDs, sandbags, etc. I know you put a lot of different ways to scale and modify in the notes, but it sounds like, Barrett, if you could clarify, like, since I'm assuming it's things that are actually not programmed, like almost like scaling up, or are you clear on that, Sarah?
Yeah, like our gym does have a decent amount of GHDs, and we have a ton of sandbags. I noticed there's now sandbag programming, so like maybe, I don't know, a note thrown in there of like, hey, this could be a good day to take your members on a sandbag adventure, or something along those lines. I don't know, just a thought.
That's fun. You're speaking Spencer's language. Do you have any thoughts on that, Spencer?
I do love a good sandbag adventure.
I noticed them in the extra programming a good amount, but not in the class like workout of the day, which is I totally understand the why. It just, yeah. So
I know that recently, well, not recently, but maybe within the last few months, we've been doing a pretty good job of making sure that we do add in scale up options for, your potential advanced athletes. Instead of doing sit-ups, maybe try the GHD, or instead of doing strict handstand push-ups, maybe adding a deficit to the handstand push-ups or things like that. So I would definitely look in the logistics section of the class plan for those scale up options. That being said, I mean, it's definitely something for us to take more into consideration, and considering what are some pieces of equipment that not all gyms have the luxury of being able to have, but if for those gyms that do have them, how can they use those pieces of equipment? So that is a very good thought.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We can
Thanks,
see how
Kevin.
long we could see how long we can sit here and look at each other. quiet, awkward
I do have
silence.
a question for the group. One other thing that we received a lot of feedback kind of towards the middle of the year that our stimulus notes were off a good bit, like our stimulus targets were off. And the reason for that is we were writing stimulus targets to match the 90th percentile. And we realized that that was probably not very helpful. And so what we've changed to doing is writing workouts that the 90th percentile should be able to do as prescribed, but that advanced athletes can also do, right? Like if you do it faster, you do it a little bit heavier with some of the scale up options. Still meet the needs of those advanced athletes, just they aren't blowing the stimulus, and it makes it look like we don't know how fast the workout will be. So we have adjusted the way that we communicate the stimulus to accommodate a wider range of athlete skill. My hope is that has addressed the need. We haven't been getting that feedback as much. And like Spencer said, in parallel with that, we've said if your athletes can exceed this number of rounds or can go faster than 3 minutes, these are some things, this is how we would recommend that they would adjust this workout. Has that met the need? Has that gotten better, or do we still have a gap there? Would you guys say? Better. Dave, thank you. Awesome. Okay, thank you, Katie. Awesome, thank you. We for a second we were mystified, and then we realized what was going on. It's good to know that was something we could fix. Glad to hear that worked. And again, if you notice stimulus being off or you have questions about the stimulus notes that we've written, please always feel free to send us a note and let us know we missed it. The notes about how she feel or how many reps to hang on to helps us adjust. Great. Awesome, Jody. Nice. If you're adjusting it enough that you feel like we got it wrong, please let us know. Okay, sometimes it's a little heavy. If we get feedback that sometimes it's too heavy and sometimes it's too light, then we know we're right about right. And also always feel free to take a look at the workout and keep in mind your best athletes at your gym. So if you're like, my best athletes think that 95 pounds is a toothpick, this should probably be 135 for my gym. Or my best athletes think that 95 is really heavy, this RX should probably be 65 for my gym. It's perfectly fine for you to adjust as needed the scaling options in the RX to meet the needs of your gym, and then proceed to talk about the workout in the same way. It does take a little bit of extra time, but that little bit of extra time can make a huge difference in how your athletes experience the programming. So that is, if you're finding that it's consistently too heavy or consistently too light, we are getting feedback on both sides typically. So it's perfectly fine to adjust a little bit for your gym based on your strengths. Jody, that's true in my gym too. Early class is always the tester.
Sarah, could you go the subscription to the CAP Weekly emails, where to locate that?
Yes. So if you are on the CrossFit.com website and you're logged into your CrossFit ID, so you should have some sort of a image in the upper right-hand corner to indicate that you're logged in. And then go to CrossFit.com newsletters. Hopefully that will bring up a page that has newsletters across the top, and you can scroll down to where you'll see a CrossFit affiliate update. No, sorry, a CrossFit affiliate program email that you can check the box to subscribe to that email. If you're not seeing that, you can reach out to programming@crossfit.com and our support team will help you troubleshoot why you don't see it. Robert, did that take care of it or not yet? Ah, perfect. That was probably my fault. I apologize. All right. Thanks for your time, everybody. Stay tuned for an email. We'll get you an email, and then hopefully we'll also be able to share it with you through the toolkit here shortly. Spencer, you have anything else? Laura?
No, thank you guys very much. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Good,
If you guys have anything you want to hear from the team, please relay it to your rep. We work closely with the CAP team with these calls, so let us know.
Also, if you have any topics for upcoming calls, if you'd like us to dive deeper into anything, more than happy to field requests. I want to make sure you're getting the information that you need.
Well, guys, hope to see you on the next call. Good luck with organizing up until the new year. The holidays they're creeping up fast. but it was good to see some familiar faces. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, bye.